guys, MTech Guy here, and today we're cruising to work in the M5 again. Currently got it set up in the third SMG shift setting, got the EDC in the softest setting just to try and overcompensate for the condition of the roads around here. Got the DSC, the traction control fully on, and we've got it in 400 horsepower. Now, just as I'm waiting for the car to warm up, I thought we'd have a bit of a chat about the keys for these cars. Now, mine being a 2005, this is a really early model E60 M5, the first year that they came out, and these ones came with an actual key, the proper key, and a proper ignition where you stick it in there and turn it, rather than the later type, which was the square box style that you inserted into the dash over on the left hand side there, and you had a stop start button. So I think that they came about around 2006, so it was just that first year that came with an actual physical key, you know, the diamond key. Now, these cars from the factory actually came with 3 keys. You got 2 remote keys, and then you got what they call a wallet key, which was a little plastic key that could be used to open the door in an emergency if you'd lost your main key. The idea was you'd keep this in your wallet or your bag, whatever, and then you could also use it as the ignition key also in the early models like this. And then from 2006 onwards, the ones that have the square box style remote key, they actually came with like a dummy box. I'm not sure what they call it, but you could insert the plastic wallet key inside that, and then you insert the box in the dash, hit the stop start button, and that'd get you on your way. Now, the remote keys, obviously they've got a battery in there, but it's not like the latest style BMW keys where you can open them up and change the battery out. So once it goes flat, you just put a new one in, a bit like the batteries in your remote control for your TV. Now, the earlier ones, the ones for these cars, the E60 M5s, the batteries were actually soldered in the keys, and then also the key was like a sealed unit, so it wasn't something you could just pop open, whip the battery out, put a new one in, and away you go. And the reason being is because the batteries are rechargeable, and it will recharge the battery while the keys in the ignition or in the slot in the dashboard. It's the same concept as like an electric toothbrush. You know, you can recharge them on the base there, same setup, same design, so you didn't have to worry about changing the battery out, because obviously it'll keep it charged the more you drive the vehicle. But of course, these cars are getting on a bit now. They are getting old. This one being a 2005, 18 years old this year, so the batteries are still going strong in the keys, and but obviously there are a few out there that are starting to die now, especially if it's your spare key and it's unused. Now, you'll probably see a lot of videos on YouTube or information on the forums and whatnot where you can actually open these keys up and change the battery out. You can cut the key open, desolder the battery, solder a new one in, and then just try and glue the key case back together again. But to be honest, you are pretty much butchering the key when you do that, and they're never the same again once you glue them back together, because these keys from the factory, they are pretty waterproof. They're fully sealed, so like I say, once you start hacking them apart and then trying to glue them back together again, all right, you might be able to continue using the key if the battery's gone completely flat, but it's never going to be the same again. And the best solution, if your keys are still operating okay, is just to make sure you keep them fully charged, because they will go on for a long period of time. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video today, is just making sure, obviously we all usually use the same key all the time, and you have a spare one put aside in the house if you were lucky enough to get 2 keys or the 3 keys when you bought your vehicle. So it is important that you do grab that spare key from time to time and run it in the vehicle, take it for a drive, and that will keep it charged up. Now, BMW recommend you do this every 6 months, and that was when they were new. But to be honest with you, now these cars are getting on a bit, it would be worth doing it more often. You want to do it at least every 3 months, I reckon, but I always use it as an excuse. Oh, I better go and charge the spare key up, so I better go and take the M5 out for a blast, and it's a good excuse just to go and take it for a decent run and put some charge back in that spare key. So mine are still functioning up to now, and you don't want to let your spare key battery go flat, because you won't be able to bring it back to life just charging it through the ignition slot or the slot in your dashboard there. So do keep that in mind. If you do have a spare key set aside, make sure you grab hold of it now and again, take your car for a run, and that'll keep that battery fully charged. And then you've always got a functional spare key that's going to work 100% with the remote function, everything like that. All right guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, I'm MTech Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.